The Minecraft 1.20 update has finally released, and with it comes a bunch of new things to farm in your Minecraft world. And today I'll be showing you everything new that you can farm and how to farm it in the easiest way possible. 1.20 comes with a ton of new features, but most of those features are scarce and probably not renewable, so there isn't actually that much new stuff to farm, but let's just get into it. One of the easiest new features to farm is of course a bamboo wood. It simply takes 9 pieces of bamboo to make a bamboo block, and then you get your planks, and this is honestly one of the best features in the entire update. The bamboo planks are great for all kinds of crafting. Now of course everyone knows how to farm bamboo, but it turns out that there is a lot of different ways to farm bamboo, and I've made a previous video on like the best ways. Basically, if you have yourself a good bone meal farm, like a moss farm, you can just toss all of that bone meal straight into a bamboo farm, and you get so much so quickly. Otherwise, you'll probably want to get yourself a flying machine farm if you really want a lot of the stuff, because this produces thousands of items per hour. And if you just want a little bit of bamboo wood for some basic building, then an observer-based farm will probably be fine for you. But otherwise, I really would recommend the large flying machine farm because it's the cheapest overall, it looks amazing, it's impressive, and it's going to give you so much bamboo wood. Farming sniffers is pretty straightforward. The first thing that you need to do is get yourself some sniffer eggs. So grab a brush, go to the nearest warm ocean, and find yourself some ocean ruins. If you're lucky, there will be some suspicious sand. You brush that, and then that's how you get yourself some sniffer eggs. Now, if you want to set up a large sniffer farm, I'd recommend starting off with like 4 eggs because they take forever to hatch. Once you have some eggs, you need to place them on some moss blocks, and they only take 10 minutes to hatch on moss, whereas they take 20 minutes to hatch on any other block. So once your sniffer eggs have taken a millennium to hatch, you'll eventually get yourself a baby sniffer. There's only one way to speed up these guys' growth, and that is with the torchflower seeds, which you won't have yet, because I think only the adults will actually sniff up the seeds. But yeah, if you give them a bunch of seeds, you'll get one of these guys, and then you can breed them together with more torchflower seeds. So that's how you can get a good population going. And once you have yourselves a lot of sniffers, like 15, 20, then you can put them in a pretty large area like this. They are actually really slow at sniffing the ground. I've been here for like maybe 10, 15 minutes, and we've only gotten, you know, a couple of these things. So you're really gonna want a lot of sniffers. So farming these guys is actually really easy. Once you get the seeds and the pitcher pods, you can just bone meal them. That's what I would recommend doing, because like, why would you want to wait even longer? So there's no way to farm them. Once you get this, the only way to farm the torch flowers or pitcher pods is from the sniffers. You cannot reproduce these, you can't make more of them, you can't bone meal more of them, you can't do anything with them. So this farm setup is actually really easy. As you can see, I just got this fairly large area. Toss all your sniffers in there. I got myself a note block in the middle and just a couple of lays. So one of the lays has the torch flower seeds, the other lay has the pitcher pod. So whenever a, you know, one of these things falls on the ground, they'll just pick that up and throw it in the middle there into your item collection. In the upcoming 1.20 updates, villagers will actually be able to plant these, but as you can see right now, they can't actually pick them up. So what I would recommend is moving the note block out of that area and into a little crop farm, and then these guys would be able to plant them just like potatoes or carrots, and they won't harvest them. So then you can come in here and get the fully grown, you know, torch flower or pitcher pod. Now, if you feel like it, you could just put all your sniffers in one big pile. You just need a 2x2 and you can just drop them in there, and then you can actually get them to dig up. Now, the items actually pop out where their nose is, so they don't actually end up on the inside. As you can see, they're all out here in this corner, so you'll need to put in a larger minecart hopper, probably like an 8x8 track. When it comes to cherry trees, I think we all know how to farm these guys, and I have a revolutionary new idea for you when it comes to automation. Just get yourself an axe with like efficiency 5 on it. I mean, look how quick this is. You can chop down a whole cherry tree, and then look at this. You simply place down a sapling and bone meal it. And then eventually you get a new tree. Okay, guys, it turns out that my farm's broken. So there's a little bit of a trick to it, actually. The cherry tree leaves actually prevent saplings from growing, so you have to move to a new location. As you can see, this area over here is clear. Plant down your sapling, and then you can bone meal it and get yourself a tree. But yeah, you can actually save yourself a lot of bone meal, because these do prevent saplings. It's a bug. Okay, but really, the cherry trees are going to be pretty annoying to chop down, because they have a lot of branches that go up into the leaves, and we all know that is the worst thing thing in the world to deal with. Now, if you're interested, I do happen to have a brand new cherry tree farm, fully automatic, fully AFK. It's amazing, and it also happens to work for mangrove trees as well. It's definitely not a mangrove farm that happens to work for cherry trees. I don't know why you would think that. Either way, that tutorial is going to be releasing soon, so maybe subscribe. That way you don't miss the fully automatic cherry tree farm. It also works for every other tree in the game, but we don't care about those. Luckily for us, pink petals are actually incredibly easy to farm. So these are basically like the cherry flowers. That's what I call them anyway. You can find them literally all over the floor. They're absolutely beautiful, and there is a reason to farm them because they turn into pink dye. So basically all you need to do for this stuff is literally just spam it, and if you happen to have an auto clicker on your mouse, you can just like all the way, and yeah, that's how you get yourself a bunch of these pink petals. You don't need to spam click them. You can literally just like hold down the button, and that's pretty quick as well. As of right now on Bedrock Edition, I think that this is literally the only way to farm them, because guess what? There's a bug where dispensers cannot bone meal them. So this is typically what a little farm for them would look like. But yeah, you literally cannot bone meal the pink petals with dispensers, and it's not a directional thing either because none of these work, even vertical. So once that bug is fixed, yeah, you can just go ahead and do this. Another thing you can farm this update is the Piglin head. You get this from, of course, blowing up piglins with a charged creeper, which isn't really as easy as you might think. Of course, you can't send piglins to the overworld because then they'll just convert into zombie pigmen, but what you can do is bring a charged creeper to the nether. If you're just worried about getting yourself some piglin heads and you don't want to worry about farming them, that's actually much easier. You just got to go ahead and get yourself a charged creeper through another portal, get it in a boat. I'd recommend putting down an obsidian platform so it doesn't nuke the whole area, and then you just get a bunch of piglins into boats. I'd recommend avoiding the ones with crossbows. Now, there's a bug in Bedrock right now where for charged creepers in a boat, you cannot light it with a flint and steel, so we have to do this the extra janky way, okay? You gotta block it with a shield, let it blow up, and then you'll be perfectly fine. And as you can see, all of your guys die, and you get a bunch of piglin heads. And finally, there's camels. There's only one way to get camels, and that is from naturally generated camels in a desert village. So you need to go explore a new desert village, and then one will spawn in the middle of it. And they don't respawn, so you gotta explore 2 of them at least. If you're wondering how to farm them, well, it's pretty similar to that of a cow farm. We just have a little area in there of trapdoors on the left and right. The adult camels can't escape, and then you just feed a bunch of the, you know, camels with cactus. Now, you are going to be able to sit on the camel if they aren't, like, able to eat more cactus, so that's why we got a boat right here so you can get out of there. And then eventually, whenever they make a baby camel, it's just going to fall down through, and all you get from killing these guys is more experience. Just to make it more clear, this is the layout that I used for the floor layer in there, so the camels are too wide to fit through this gap, but the baby camels fit through just fine. And then we also got ourselves a water bucket dispenser over there just to flush any baby camels that get stuck over to the edge, and that's how you can make them fall down. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed, then drop a like and share it around. It helps out the video and the channel a ton. If you're new here, then subscribe to help us reach 600,000. I'll see you guys down in the comments and in the next one.